This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hola, hola, this is Nahir Robles, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it is a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with La Chica Del Hola Hola, Nahir Robles.
Hola, hola.
How are you?
I am very good, and you? I'm very excited to be here.
And we are excited to have you on as well.
Aww.
Can you tell us what you have coming up event-wise?
So on March 16, I will be going back to Deep South Wrestling in Georgia, where I will be wrestling Deep South's resident mean girl, Gemma Jules, who's like a 6 foot tall, mean, rude, tall blonde. She has this thing where she gets like everything she wants, and like I'm not about that life though. So I'm just about to show her a few Spanish so she can rizz up the guys of Georgia, but I will also remind her who I am. And she only has one loss at Deep South. Could you believe that? I'm going to make her feel number 2 for the first time in her life. I'm so excited about that, though. Next, I do my debut to the state of New Jersey on March 22nd, where I will be wrestling La Chica Clara Carrera. So it's kind of funny, La Chica versus La Chica, from Chica to Chica. But I still want that. She has a championship that I really, really have a tendency for shiny things.
Of course.
Especially those that come like in belts, in beautiful belts, wrestling championship belts. On March 23rd, I will be making, it's a weekend debut, I swear to God. I will be making my debut at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Wrestling Independent. I will be teaming up with Mike Z. He's a prominent young star. I love him. Like, the energy that I felt, we actually talked like a couple of days ago, and it was so cool. And we're going to be wrestling Brittnie Blake and Stan Styles. I actually met Brittnie Blake on Female In-Ring Entertainment back in February 9th in Maryland. But as far as I know, she's also a mean girl. I do know she did beat Stan Styles on the Wrestling Independence last show, so I don't know how that power dynamic's going to work. But, you know, I'm very trusting in our Latino spiciness with Mike Z, and we're going to be fine.
Oh, yeah.
On March 24th, I told you it's a lot. On March 24th, I will be at the state of Connecticut at Caillou Pro Wrestling, where I will also I feel like I'm going to be like a belt collector this year. I swear to God. Where I will be wrestling Tiffany Avatar. I'm not terrified of a girl that looks like cotton candy, but I am in it for the fun pastel colors and, of course, that beautiful belt she has around her waist. I'm telling you, belt collector. On March 28th, it's not announced yet. I have a to-be-announced debut. Hopefully, that weekend, it's kind of like back and forth with me. On April 5, I will be at the Maryland at ACW Adrenaline Championship Wrestling. I don't know who I'm wrestling yet, but I know I'm in it for a surprise. And April 7th, and we know that's WrestleMania weekend, so I also have a to be announced date. So I think that's it.
It sounds like you're really busy. I mean, that's a good problem to have as a wrestler, no?
I mean, it's the dream, to be honest. It's a dream to be able to say, I'm busy, like, and to think about the fact that this, if you do like the actual counts, this would be my second year wrestling. Because I might have debuted it like August 2022, but that year I only had like 2 matches. I had one at August and the one I did in November.
Okay.
And then it was 2023, actually, like a full year of like, and it wasn't even at the beginning. It was like halfway through the year where I started picking up my pace. And I'm very, very excited. Like, I realized that in the years I was wrestling, I only had 27 matches in total. And one of the things I want is to like even like double it this year, or to go like a little bit cocky and get to 75. So I'm very excited that like I'm already on match 34. So I think I'm going to like before the month of July, I think I'm going to cover the 50 quota at least. So I'm just very excited to be able to say that while traveling the world.
Right. I mean, like at the rate you're going, like all those dates you just told me about, just in a month span, it seems like you'll be able to double that easily.
It's crazy. I think if I pull it off, like I'm gonna be unbearable. I just know how unbearable I will be. Like,
and just on another note, to remember all of those dates off the top of your head is just incredible. I barely remember the date that this is going to air, be without looking at a calendar.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last thing. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I was saying, it's amazing how you're able to remember all of the dates off the top of your head.
Oh yeah, I like to think I have the memory of an elephant. So I will always. I feel like I've not gotten hit in my head enough, so I'd forget. So that makes me very happy. I remember every match I've ever had. Like I know I'm just starting out, but to me they're all meaningful in one way or another. So it's hard for me like not to remember the road that I'm going, the passage. It's kind of hard not to remember them. I really do, and I'll remember everyone I've ever wrestled. So that's also like kudos to me for that.
Definitely, for sure. That's a rare trait in pro wrestling. Alright, and where can we find you on social media? And your merchandise?
So my X and Instagram, they have the same handle. It's in Spanish, so I usually just I'll spell it out. It's RIZOSYSARCASMOS. And the handle, it says Rizos y Sarcasmos, which in English means curls and sarcasms, because I have a lot of curly hair. My Facebook fan page is Nahir Robles. I literally just started it out. I'm trying to like build it up as with the X as well. Instagram has been mostly like my line of communication, but I'm down for it. I also have my email for booking inquiries or just any consultation, etc. That is literally same handle that Instagram and X, which is funny. risosysarcasmos@gmail.com.
And your merchandise?
And my what?
Merchandise.
I can't hear the.
Oh, t-shirts. Hats. Where can we buy things?
Oh, my merch! I am so sorry.
No worries.
So I have a page at prowrestlingtees.com. If you write Nahir Robles, my merch shows up. I also have it's Lucha Tees, LuchaTees.PR.co. I also have 2 shirts available there with really cool designs. When I go to shows, I also bring 8x10s. if anyone asks for them online, I can also send them. It's no big deal for me.
Alright, and you don't have to go looking for her social media or merchandise. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video.
Aw, you're the
or on YouTube
best.
and Castbox.
That's so nice of you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now, going back a little bit, you mentioned, you only really started, wrestling like in the later part of 2023, even though your first match was August of 22.
Yeah.
Was that intentional? Was there like a reason you had to kind of step back, or was you just not getting those bookings? Could you talk us through that?
Okay, so I read like the whole story behind it is I come from a wrestling school in Puerto Rico where they have to graduate you, right?
Right.
My first 2 matches were at the school, but like I'm very honest about myself. I'll always say like I don't think I'm naturally talented. I just work really hard to get where I am. And I feel like in general, I'm very much like underestimated in that sense. So I feel like a lot of people didn't have a lot of faith in me, but I kept showing up and showing out. And then every opportunity I've ever seen, I've taken it, and it's come to have fruit. The seed that was implanted, it's been growing. And because of that drive, it's where I am today. And they like, and it was kind of like poetic the way that my graduation match was August 2023. And then every booking just kept happening afterwards. Like it was like, I know it wasn't intentional, but it was like a poetic justice kind of way.
I gotcha. So when you actually graduated, that's when things started to open up.
Yes.
Okay, I understand. Well, as you said, being grateful for the opportunities that you've gotten. You had a great opportunity. You were the first female main event for Espirito Pro Wrestling. There's not
That
a
was
lot
my graduation match. Like, no less. First female main event graduation match. Like, who gets to say that? Me.
That is absolutely crazy. How does that make you feel that your graduation match was the main event, that they had that faith in you?
I didn't know. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't know what was gonna happen during that match. Like, after the match ended, I hear some footsteps. And then I see my teacher, my mentor, my coach, Mike Mendoza, and it was just like, he tells me, get up. And I'm like, why? And then he has the microphone, and I'm like, oh no, this isn't happening. This is not happening. And then he graduated me in front of everybody.
That's incredible.
So I didn't really know. That's why it was so crazy to me.
And I mean, what does it mean to you to be the first ever female main event?
To me, I feel like I'll always say I don't think I deserved that moment, but I'm very grateful that they gave it to me. It was breathtaking. It was an absolute honor. And it's one of my favorite memories that I've had, like from 2023 in the wrestling world.
Is that a moment you take in at the moment, or is it something that kind of sets in afterwards? Like, wow, I did that.
It was like when it happened, I was like in utter shock, because it was like, I think like to that day, because I knew I'm often underestimated in general. the fact that that was my literal like fire like test, and the fact that I could overcome it so swiftly, to me was like it was the great way to like to end that chapter with the school. I mean, I still wrestle there, but to be graduated, I debuted August 28, 2022. I graduated August 26, 2023. I had almost a full year before I graduated. So that's what I mean. It was amazing.
Now, do you kind of feel like that year, just working for them, not yet graduated? How do you look at that time? Because you're not exactly, off to the races yet. You are still in training.
I mean, it was kind of funny because I wasn't graduated, but like fun fact, like I was not graduated yet, and I debuted for IWA, International Wrestling Association, on like 2 months before I graduated. So it's crazy.
Another big match that you competed.
I was for a championship match. Former champion Cristal, because I used to interview before I fully wrestled. I was interviewing for IWA,
Right.
and Cristal literally took me out of the interviewing gig by slapping the life out of me. So that was my debut match. Fun.
Now, going on to another big opportunity that you had, you wrestled Sami Chaos for We Want Wrestling.
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us about that experience? Because you wasn't her first opponent, correct?
We were the second match of that show. We weren't originally we weren't set to be on that show, but like I had a debut like for BPW where I had my first championship opportunity against Valentina Vasquez, and then the stars aligned, and WAW's owner Pete Rosado, he said, "I think I have someone to wrestle you," and then I'm like, holy moly, like I'm used to being like the tall girl, and God, let me tell you, like, boy, have I been lied to. I saw Sammy and I'm like, oh no, the game over for me. But it was a good experience because it really made me think outside the book. Like I could incorporate stuff that I'm not able to do with girls I usually wrestle back home. So it gave me that chance, and it was a fun match. I mean, I did come out as Peacemaker, so that was funny.
Yes, you did. Now, I'm curious. Working and training, wrestling in Puerto Rico. Um, is there any difference that you saw wrestling in Puerto Rico that may be a little bit different, in the States?
I feel like depending on the area, because like people will listen to Puerto Rico and they'll just assume like either hardcore matches that, either hardcore matches or like a very brawling style, and then some for some reason like connected to lucha style, and I feel like it's a mixture of the three of them. So I don't like correcting anyone because like I'm like they're not wrong, we're like almost a mixture of everything. And then I go to the States and then I have to adapt to like, and it's a good thing. It made me prepared for all these craziness that I've had to go through. Like I'll wrestle like all day a girl that's like very tiny, so I have to adapt to that. And wrestling styles can be so different, and sometimes it can be very gimmicky, etc. So it's actually like it's confusing, but it's fun. It's an interesting difference to see and to live.
I got you. I understand that completely. Now, going from Sami Chaos, who is big and scary, to somebody a hell of a lot scarier, but on the smaller side. I'm of course talking about Erica Torres, one of the well-respected names in pro wrestling. Can you tell us about your experience wrestling her?
Erica.
Yes, Erica Torres.
I met Erica back where I did some customs at Liberty Pro Wrestling. Erica she might be tiny, but oh girl, that girl is strong. That girl is vicious, and I respect the life out of her. Like, to me, no, she's an amazing human being, but when she's in the ring, she means business.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is there something you learned from Erica being in the ring with Erica?
I love the fact that like I've never actually had to wrestle someone because Erica has like a lot of like she has an MMA background if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
So it was like all the chain wrestling, the incorporation and mixture of chain wrestling with the MMA on the ring. Oh, to me it was like magical. Being in the ring with her was magic.
Now, that was for Liberty Pro.
Yes.
And having interviewed many people that's done custom matches like that before, something did come up that I found very interesting that I never seen in Liberty Pro, and that is the Mississippi Mauler.
Oh, I remember that match. It's in my core memory, the way I was snapped like a twig. Like, that was a whole chiropractor session right there.
How did that come about? Because I never seen Liberty Pro do anything like that prior.
So, I don't know who incorporated that ending, but to me was like, we saw it and we're like, oh, my back. My back's about to get chiropractored, and for real, he just the way he could just carry me so calmly, like, and I'm like, oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm out. I'm done.
Right. No, you could tell me about this moment. You interviewed when you were still an interviewer, Santana from
I
Santana
did.
and Ortiz. Sometime later, you actually got to share a locker room with him as a peer.
I shared it twice.
What is that? Is that a full circle moment for you?
Oh, definitely. The way, like, I interviewed him not only when he did Pride and Powerful, because they wrestled, no, they didn't wrestle Lucha Bros. They wrestled La Rebelión,
Okay.
which is Mecha Wolf and Bestia.
Yeah.
I remember this. But afterwards, I realized that I had this like rude awakening in a fun sense, like, and it was funny enough around the month of February that I interviewed Santana, and I found the video clip of me interviewing Santana because Santana actually ended up being Latin American Wrestling Entertainment's first champion before he got injured. Fun fact. So not only like I'm seeing this footage of me interviewing Santana, and then Warriors of Wrestling post a promo of their show, and it's Santana in the middle, and I'm like, this is like, the Cody Rhodes, this is the way I was like, this is the way I finished my story. I started and it's an interviewer, and you were one of the first people I ever interviewed. and I'm wrestling now. And I'm wrestling even though I lost to Angel Metro, also amazing girl, total sweetheart. I was too mean. I feel really mean to her. Getting to see Santana like being there, and then it was so funny because I wrestled like Santana was in the cover in New York, and then the day after he also wrestled at a show in Puerto Rico. I wrestled, so it was like first it was like for me Saturday was like the full circle glimpse because it was in New York, but since the day after he was also on a show I shared a locker room with. It was like, if it's in Puerto Rico, it's a full circle. There's no way around it.
Did you get to talk to him about that?
I did. I actually posted something on X, like, that was the way I finished my interviewer story, in a way. The transitioning from the interviewer, La Chica Del Hola Hola interviewer, to La Chica Del Hola Hola as a wrestler. Sorry, I have an adorable dog here just staring at me.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times my dog just broke down my door just to come in while I'm doing an interview.
Oh, I got a letter saying my dog apparently has separation anxiety. So where I leave for work, she cries all day, and I didn't know.
Yeah, I have a friend that has a dog that they do that. Yes.
Oh.
So going back to your days as an interviewer, what did you kind of learn through that experience that helped you in the ring?
I feel the confidence that like I remember my first interviews. Oh, they were awful. Like I liked it. I'm very self-aware, and I was so nervous. I remember I interviewed Cuervo de Puerto Rico. He was my first interview ever. And we were talking about an incident. Like Cuervo wrestled in Mexico, but he's back in PR. And I was so like nervous. I remember calling him Cuervo de Mexico. Like it's like one of the, to me it's whack. And he looked at me straight up, and he's like, "You should be ashamed of yourself."
Oh no.
And then I realized what I had just said, and I'm like, no. And then it was interesting because I interviewed Cuervo, and I interviewed Cinta de Oro, I interviewed La Rebelión, I interviewed Proud and Powerful, I interviewed Thunder Rosa, I interviewed some of the very best that has stepped the ring in the last 10 years. And I feel like I learned I feel like I learned a lot from them, but those experiences that put me out of the comfort zone also gave me like a lot of like the way I could transmit it back to the ring. I feel like character wise and promo wise, because I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be like as decent as I am making promos if I didn't have that interviewer background with me.
And just keeping up with your interviewer days, you do honor those past days. You have ring gear that is reminiscent of what you used to wear as an interviewer. No?
Yes,
Can you tell us?
it actually became my favorite gear.
I mean, it's definitely interesting. It's something I haven't seen on the independents for sure.
It's just as a reminder of where I was, where I am, and where I want to go. And the fact that I got to wear that during a match I had at Florida like 2 weeks ago against Leva Bates, against Miranda Gordy, against Steph Delander. So it's like it's a very special like ring gear to me now.
Hell yeah. But I mean, that's not your only interesting ring gear that you have. You mentioned the Peacemaker ring gear as well, no?
I love anti-hero characters, so I like to incorporate a lot of that in my wrestling attires. For example, I have the green and black one that's supposed to be a resemblance to Shigo. I have the silver and blue that's from Kim Possible, so not the drama. I have one I haven't worn yet. It's for Zero Suit Samus.
Oh, awesome.
I have one that's I did one that with the the Madonna boobies.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's the best reference I can give. So the Thor comic books
Yeah.
in the 80s, the Valkyries wore like a bodysuit, a black bodysuit with the Madonna boobies. I have a gear that's like completely like based off of the Valkyries as well. I even came out like for that show in a sword.
That's awesome. Where'd you get the sword from?
It was really funny. It was a fan. I posted it online like I kind of need a sword, you guys. I never told anyone what was it for, and then a fan wrote to me. A fan who later on became a friend. He wrote to me. I have a sword. I have a lot of swords, and I'm like, I need your sword. So I wrestle. I did my entrance with the giant crazy sword, and then I ended up giving it to a friend of his that was in the show, and I'm like, cherish this because this is a beautiful sword.
That is awesome. You got a sword, no questions asked.
Yes, that was the best part of it.
I don't know. I don't want to know what you're doing with this sword, but you could definitely have it.
I give it back though. I promise. I did give it back because that was the deal. I had to give it back.
Oh yeah. Oh, It sounds like you have a lot of incredible ring gears as of right now.
Oh, I do.
Um,
Too many.
well, are there more in the works?
I'm sorry. What?
Is there more coming up? Do you have your any ideas for new up and coming gear?
Oh yeah. Well, I can tell you a past one I did. I did Starlight, but I have a very recent one coming up, and it's a reference to Liberty Bell from Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Yes. Yeah.
Because she's kind of like the Miss Americana, Miss America, all American girl. I'm gonna change it up to like Puerto Rican colors and make it my own version.
Well, you did a full photo shoot as Liberty Bell, right?
Yeah, so see that like I love the fact that you know this. I love it because it's like now it's starting to make sense. That's why I did it. I actually built that the costume I wore for the Liberty Bell. I did it myself.
Oh wow.
I love that phrase though. Like I don't know if you remember the meme with the girl with the eyeliner. I did it myself. That's me very proud of my costume.
Do you make all of your gear or just
Oh no way. I wish I was a crafty person. I just like at least the costume it was I was just crafty enough to make it survive and stick. But like my gears are usually either from like Coquetry Clothing, Brujadora, uh, Corali Lopez, who's in Puerto Rico. Hopefully I'm having new gear made by. It's a secret, so I can't tell yet. But when it shows up, everyone's gonna be like, "Ooh, it's fancy." So yeah.
All right.
I also had my first gear on my when before you graduate, you're supposed to wrestle in black. So the Kai that she specializes in uh workout clothing, she made that first outfit for me, so that was very nice too. Miles Hawkins actually did my black gear with the snake. He's a wrestler too, so that was pretty cool too.
Awesome. Now let's get into our next segment, and that is Nahir's bizarre adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
I mean, it wasn't bad. Like I've had like I don't know. I'm lying. I have the perfect story, like, but it's because I hate driving. It's not like a horror story. It becomes a horror story because I'm terrified of driving.
Okay.
It was actually 2 weeks ago. Like, my best friend would always go with me, like, when there's shows I have to drive to. She's my go-to. She knows, like, I'm forever a passenger princess. And this time, like, in Florida, Florida's wild. Like, I don't know who can drive in Florida. Like, speed limit's 70, and I'll go to 70, like, scared, because I don't go through, like, ain't no way. And people would just, like, drive by me like nothing. So I drove for like a total of like 6 hours and a half to 7, and it was the absolute worst 8 hours of my life. Like, you have no idea. Imagine a truck driving faster than you, and you're literally driving on 70 miles per hour.
Oh yeah.
It was bad. Like, it was just me, following the law. And then everyone was like, choo, choo. And then you could feel the car shaky. And I'm like, what's happening? Why?
I mean, I live in Los Angeles, so that's pretty normal.
I can't. Like, and I'm Puerto Rican. Like, people drive terribly here. But I'm terrified of Floridians. They're the worst. Like, I love, like, Florida wrestling. I hate Florida driving because, God, it's horrible.
And now you're turning heel on Florida.
Florida. These Floridians gone wild.
What? Is there a reason that you don't like driving?
I started driving very late. I started driving when I was like 23, 22. Oh, yeah, 2022. Like, I haven't, like, there's a lot of people who get their driver's license, like, very early on. I got it very late. I literally got it like the other day, technically. So driving, it's kind of like a touchy subject for me. Because, like, before I actually started driving, I gone through so many car crashes being a passenger. Okay. So you can tell, like, when I'm driving, I drive very, like, still and slow and all of that because I'm just terrified, like, period.
I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, having a driver's license is essential of becoming a pro wrestler.
Yeah, it's horrible, but it has to be done. Yeah. You need a driver's license.
All right. Let's get into well, you did the photo shoot. You have Deal coming up. Can you tell us about your love of glow?
My what?
Your love of glow.
Oh, I love gorgeous ladies of wrestling. So yeah, having that gear, it's like it's to me, like, my gears represent like every part of who I am. I loved how complex they made Liberty Bell's character, how she had to put her family, versus work. It was in the whole complexity of, like, going from a telenovela actress to, like, an actual wrestler.
And there are similarities.
What?
There are similarities to being
yes.
telenovela and pro wrestling.
There was an episode, I think it was the second or third episode, where Liberty Bell was having, like, a hard time understanding the wrestling business, and then they brought her to a wrestling show. And she was literally, when she made the realization, oh my God, it's a soap opera. That was all of us.
How did you feel about how they ended the series? Because it kind of went out on a not so great note.
Because I feel like that series was supposed to have another season.
Right.
So I feel like Glow ended with unfinished business. So I feel like if people pay attention enough to it, or, like, ask enough and, campaign enough for it, we should get the ending that we deserve.
Hell yeah. Because it definitely left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Alright. Can you tell us about your love of Kim Possible?
I mean, I did have my hair red for like the longest time. So I was always a Kim Possible fan. When I was a kid, I would watch it with my cousins. Like I'd get off of school and it's like, let's watch Kim Possible, and the whole like best friends to lovers love story that she and Ron had. So I'm a hopeless romantic in that sense. So that was pretty dope.
What's your favorite episode?
I don't think it's the episode. I think it's the movie, so not the drama.
The what was it? Sumo Ninjas.
Now I'm confused. I have to look it up now. Now you're making me doubt. Wow.
I mean, those were some of the villains that. Well, obviously, Draken was the.
Oh, Draken was whack. Draken was wild. Like, bro, you're fighting a high schooler, bro. Calm down. Let her be a teenager.
Oh, but no, the henchmen that he had in the movie were sumo ninjas.
Yes. Now I remember. But I also remember. You make me go back to memory lane. I don't know if you remember the episode when people realized Shigo was supposed to be like part of this superhero family.
Yes.
So it was like that's what kind of gives the anti-hero vibes.
I would say
because she was a complex character. I think Shigo was a very complex character, and Kim was just a teenager just trying to figure everything out. So I really also like that dynamic between the two of them.
Oh yeah. I kind of just felt like Shigo was a villain that had just sparks of compassion sometimes.
Yes. Agreed.
And my favorite episode would obviously be the brainwashing shampoo.
Why are you bringing me so many memories?
I mean, it was a good episode. It was arguably the best episode. How did you watch the live action Kim Possible? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Sorry, my phone just went out.
Oh, no worries. Did you happen to see the live action Kim Possible movie?
I did not.
Okay. I mean, it was okay. I wouldn't say that it was 100% Kim Possible, but I think it hit some bullet points.
Okay.
Alright. You're looking for your first pro wrestling title.
Yes.
But you currently are a spelling bee champion, no?
Kind of. Kind of, yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
I mean, I always joked about being a spelling bee champion because when I was a kid, I used to want a lot of spelling bees. So I'll just make people like I love spelling things because of that. I like to be very. Oh, my puppy's being puppy.
They want
So yeah.
attention.
Yeah. She's just basically telling me right now, you gotta hang up soon. I need attention.
When did you get your dog?
I mean, she's been with me for like over 10 years already.
Oh, wow. What kind is she?
She's a very spoiled dog, as you can tell.
What kind is she?
Oh, she's literally a We call her a Puerto Rican Terrier. I don't like saying the word mutt. I don't like it. She's a Puerto Rican Terrier.
I gotcha. All right.
She's a mixed breed. She's adorable.
Now, during your time in Memphis, you actually walked Beale Street. Can you tell us about that experience?
Where?
Beale Street in Memphis?
Oh, where the Jerry the Lawler's restaurant's at?
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. Like, because I arrived a day earlier to Memphis, and Island Girl TT, she was there, and Heather Owens was there, and we're like, we're hungry. Where should we go? And then we just all ultimately decided, let's go to that street. And then it ended up being one of the most fun nights I've ever had. I had wrestling history. I felt like a teenager again because it was so fun. The colors, the people were actually very nice to us. What? It was a very nice time. I had a lot of fun in Memphis.
All right. Now on top of being a wrestler, you're also a scientist, no?
I am.
Could you tell us what you science?
I science. I love that. I mean, I graduated from a bachelor's of integrative biology. I always joke around the fact that I could have been a molecular biology, but I just didn't want to take cellular biology. And then life ultimately made me have to take it, but I'm not a molecular biologist, funny enough. I currently work as a research laboratory technician at a center of investigation and at the Comprehensive Cancer Center. I currently work as currently research laboratory technician. I was like, I already mentioned that.
What kind of makes you get into science? If I
I
can
mean, I was always like a very scholar kid, like, and I always liked STEM. The STEM field to me was like, I even wanted to be a doctor at one point, but then life. I mean, I feel like if it's very you try to force it, it's just not right. So I let life decide to take me the way it should have, and that's what I'm currently doing as in now.
Okay. Well, I know nothing about science. So I'm going to cut off the science questions now before I make a fool of myself. Um, let's get into the colossal question. Let's say that they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first three songs on your movie soundtrack?
Oh, I love this question. I feel like I already had the answer to it.
Awesome.
I am a sucker for rom-coms in the 2000s. Fun fact, the song that I go out my entrance is actually first time I ever listened to it was at the movie Freaky Friday, and the scene that Lindsay Lohan, she's playing volleyball and she hits this mean girl Stacey Hinkhouse with a volleyball head in the back of her head. That song's from the American Hi-Fi, The Art of Losing.
Okay.
So I feel like that should be like one of the first songs that needs to show up for at least like the promo, like entrance, me waking up, being a hot mess. That should be my entrance song, like if we were doing a movie about me. I feel also the song, One of Those Girls from Avril Lavigne.
Okay.
I'm an Avril Lavigne fan, like, and I know this is so ironic, but I'm also a Swiftie. So I feel like the song Anti-Hero is very fitting to me.
Okay. Alright. Definitely a solid 3 picks for sure.
I told you, it's like I already had the answer to it.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
so sorry. I think I'm going to have to hang up soon because she's being very needy.
Okay, then we'll just get into to the ending. Could you tell us a match that people should go out of their way to see, that best shows off what you are all about?
I have two matches for that. I have an intergender match I did in February, which was the show that Santana was at in Puerto Rico. I wrestled Cesar Aldea. He's from the faction Too Hot for Me for You for IWA. I showed him that he's not too hot for anyone. And the other match I really, really, really enjoyed was triple threat for the BPW Women's Championship. Brittnie Brooks, the Unwilting Tatiana versus Nahir Robles. I feel like those two show my personality a lot.
And can we find those on YouTube?
Yes,
Okay,
both of them are on YouTube.
and I will find those matches on YouTube, and I will put a link to them in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox.
Okay.
All right, pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I mean, you're talking to the girl from an island that will eat rice with lasagna. So who am I to judge?
So you will eat pineapple on pizza?
I mean, it just depends on how my mood is. Like, I personally aren't like a big fan, but like, I'm also the girl who would eat mushrooms and ham on her pizza. So I'm open to it. I'm not a fan, but I'm open to it. I'm not gonna like cry about it.
Okay. And now we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is our speed round or bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Okay.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Alive or not alive?
Anybody.
To me, it's either. It's gonna be like such a contrast. I loved so hard. God damn it. I love China and I love Tony Storm.
Worst wrestler.
I don't think I'm capable of saying who's a bad wrestler. I just don't think it was the right time. So I can't say a name.
Well, we will give you the default answer, and you have chosen Eva Marie.
Come on! I said wrong time. Damn. It's so mean, but okay.
I mean, it's who other people have chosen without giving the default answer. So she became the default answer. You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Wow. I mean, it'd be a blast wrestling Charlotte Flair. I mean, she's like one of the best of all time. She's a great performer. Like, I love Tony because of her like mixture of like her old character like and new one. But ring performers, to me, Charlotte's like top tier.
Hell yeah. If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
With legs like that from Maria.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
I'm sorry, Kate. I'm sorry. My puppy's like,
Yeah.
she's crying.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Everything.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast. Oh. Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Squash. I mean, I think it's a vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit. It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Oh, we're having this fruit and vegetable matchup.
Yeah.
This is gonna end up in a wrestling match.
Well, yeah, no, it is indeed a fruit. You might want to go to Pizza Party Pro to fight for that.
True.
New Japan Pro Wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question: what is the appropriate trunks, the butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
The limit does not exist.
Okay, so no coverage whatsoever.
I mean, that's a personal choice. To me, it's always been a personal choice of how much anyone wants to show. That's just a personal choice. So I guess that's my answer.
To each their own.
Yeah.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
About what?
About Darby Allin.
No, I have not.
And that is the
I've had
correct answer.
wacky conversations, like not wacky, but funny, like on an airport. But it was just so random. I was just sitting there waiting for a flight, and they're like, "You're a wrestler, aren't you?" And I'm like with my hoodie, and I'm just really busted looking, and I'm like, "Hi, yes, I'm incognito today. What's up?" But nothing crazy supermarket vibes.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
You're welcome.
Could you once again let us know where we can find you on social media and your merchandise?
Sorry, my dog's interrupting me. Like, I'm so sorry. Nahir Robles on Facebook fan page, X and Instagram, RIZOSYSARCASMOS, Rizos y Sarcasmos.
And your merchandise is on Pro Wrestling Tees and
Luchatis PR. I know you'll have the link, but just to be sure, yeah, it's there.
yeah. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all her social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link.
The best.
A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt.
Love this.
Hell yeah. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this is sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
Okay.
For our very special guest, Nahir Robles, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.